Wednesday, May 13th. Update on my Biocube. 29-gallon Biocube. Set it up at the end of December, actually like the day after Christmas. About 30 days later, 3 weeks later, took it down because I thought I had a small leak in the first 29-gallon Biocube, which was Power Compacts, and replaced it with the HQI version. And I'm not using the HQI, I'm using an old black box LED, Chinese LED. So May 13th, just about 5 months old. The rock has got some color in it. I still only have the two clowns in it. Not a lot of coral. I actually haven't added anything for quite a while. Of course, in March, the COVID-19 pandemic kind of kicked up. So sometime in March, I went to a local fish store where I buy water, and I got 20 gallons, I believe. 25 gallons of RO. It tests at 0 when I test it. So I was doing water changes every week. Then I went to 2 weeks. Actually, I've been lax. It's been probably a month since I've done a water change. Old school mentality was 20% every 3 weeks. I don't know. I've been around fish or had reef tanks since 2003. So a lot of theories have changed. A lot have stayed the same. So with a 20-gallon tank, so it's a 29-gallon Biocube, I assume. I haven't really measured it, but I figured that I'm sitting somewhere between 17 and 20 gallons of actual water volume with a rock in it. I think the tank's probably 22 gallons when it's empty, right? Because it doesn't actually hold 29. So 4 gallons every 3 weeks would be a 20% water change. So what I'll probably do, I might start going back to every other week because I have some algae. When I started this tank, I had high hopes of not having any nuisance in it. So being around reefing since 2003, we've all had aptasia, bubble algae, starfish that are aggressive towards corals, all these hitchhikers that come in that you really don't want in your tank. So I started this with almost all dry rock and a couple pieces of rock that were in the tank previously that really didn't seem to have any life on them, and some frags that I picked up at local specialty shops, right? Fairly high-end stores. But I have bubble algae and I have aptasia. So a little disheartening because I really was trying to get away from that. So, I'll show you the algae. This algae that comes out looks like lettuce. I know that's going to be from excess nutrients in the tank, right? My nitrates are, around 5. I don't test phosphate. I never have. I don't test magnesium. I really never have. And a long time ago, I thought I had bryopsis, which is the only time I ever tested magnesium. I've got certain corals that do well in here. This one does well. I've got an acropora in there that I've had in there for several months. It seems to be fine. It's got good color. It's got pollock extension, but you can see this more lettucey algae that I have. I'm gonna blame that on me. Water changes, overfeeding, whatever the case is. Bubble algae, you can see it in the tank. That is a hitchhiker, and then there's an aptasia. My challenge with the bubble algae and the aptasia is that once it's there, I don't know how to get rid of it. You can aggressively attack the bubble algae. So I'm getting ready to do a water change tonight, and what I'll do is I'll pull the coral off, I'll put it in the water that I pull out of the tank, and I will try and knock as much algae off as I can. But let's face it, it's going to come back, and I guess I could get a crab or something to eat the bubble algae. We'll see. That's a snail. Actually, that snail's not too bad. I've got snails in here. You can see this across the tank that have a ton of algae growing on them. So quite possibly the rocks that I reused have leached. The tank's been up and running for 5 months. The theory is it could take up to a year for things to leach out. It's possible. The rocks in general don't have a ton of algae on them. There's a couple pieces. I had a lot of algae, when I first set this up. So I don't know. I mean, you can put something in the comments below. I can go to Reef, I can go to NanoCube, and I can go to Reef Central. Other than manually removing the bubble algae, try not to pop it, and staying up with the water changes. I use Instant Ocean. I know some people are going to say, well, Instant Ocean is going to have high phosphates or something, right? Which is possible. So as I do use Instant Ocean, I have noticed my alkalinity has been a challenge. I like to keep it around 10 or 11, and it seems that in this tank, so if I don't dose anything, it'll drop back to 7. As you can see, yeah, I have some SPS in there. Yes, I have some LPS, but I don't have that much. In a 20-gallon tank, I don't have enough coral growth that I should need to really dose the tank. So I don't know. Maybe this is just an ongoing problem with Instant Ocean. Maybe I should bite the bullet and try something different. I've just been stubborn for years and years and years. Probably for 10 years I've used Instant Ocean. And I know there's more expensive stuff out there, so. But I haven't really, actually I did lose an orange digi, which is still in here a little bit. It's the only coral that I lost. It's interesting that I can keep an acropora alive. I don't know if you can see the polyp extension on it right now or not. But to keep an acro alive typically takes an established tank. But there's a snail back there you can see just past the pump. It's just full of algae. And that's a little bit thicker, nasty algae. So this one here must hang out in the shadows all the time because it didn't have anything on it. So that's where I'm at. Let's see if I kill lights. This is an iPhone 11 Pro. Last one I shot was on a Pixel 3a. Didn't do as good video. Let's see what happens. That's okay. Fairly impressive, right? As far as the camera, not the tank. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not doing a whole lot right now. Mostly pandemic, right? I mean, I'm still working 40 hours a week. Wife's home with the kids. So, when I started this in December, nobody really knew what was going on. But yeah, here's where I'm at. So hopefully I'll do another post. It's time to do some cleaning and scrape some algae.